After the Saudi GP, Lewis Hamilton rocked the F1 paddock with a shocking confession. The seven-time world champion admitted that he never felt comfortable in the Ferrari car throughout the Saudi GP, raising the shadow of a worrying performance crisis and incompatibility. Is this the first sign of a rift in the relationship between Hamilton and Ferrari? Let's discuss. The 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was one of the most disappointing weekends of Lewis Hamilton's career. Competing on the fast Jeddah circuit, the seven-time world champion failed to deliver the performance expected by his new team, Ferrari. Finishing seventh, exactly where he started the race, while his teammate Charles Leclerc took Ferrari's first podium of the season, was a huge blow for Hamilton and his fans. Even more surprisingly, Hamilton made a very honest, almost desperate statement after the race. "No, there was not a single second where I felt comfortable with the car," Hamilton said bluntly. "The car is certainly capable of finishing third. Charles was fantastic today. So I can't blame the car. I don't know why I can't feel the same as him." The difference in performance between Hamilton and Leclerc was stark, more than half a second per lap, with Hamilton finishing more than 30 seconds behind Leclerc. One of the critical points was Hamilton's much worse tire degradation, especially on the medium compound, while Leclerc was able to fight for the top three with the same strategy. Ferrari team boss Fred Vasseur admitted it had been a tough weekend for Hamilton. "We spoke briefly. He was quite inconsistent, even in the race. He had a good second stint, but we need consistency from first practice to qualifying," he said. The problem was compounded by Hamilton's comments that he needed a brain transplant to integrate with the Ferrari car. Comments that provoked strong reactions from both the public and the team. Even Martin Brundle of Sky Sports described Hamilton's current form as difficult to watch and almost uncomfortable. A series of in-depth analyses of telemetry data revealed the harsh reality. Lewis Hamilton lost significant time in two of the three sectors. In the first and third sectors, two crucial sections of the track that require the utmost technical precision and confidence, Hamilton was unable to match the pace of his main rivals. He openly admitted that he lost around 0.2 of a second in the last sector, 0.3 in the first and 0.1 in the middle. In total, that's almost 0.6 of a second off the pace, a significant number in such a competitive season, where 1/10 of a second can separate pole position from sixth or worse. This is no ordinary season. With the competition getting fiercer and the teams more evenly matched, every millisecond counts. In these conditions, Hamilton, who has been known for years as the king of qualifying and a master of single laps, is struggling to find his rhythm. When asked about his performance throughout the weekend, he expressed deep frustration. "All weekend long I felt like I was nowhere. No direction, no grip. I think I was 13th in every session, whether it was free practice or qualifying. It was like I was running around with no direction," said Hamilton, almost resigned. "So I'm actually grateful to get into Q3 and start 7th. But if you look at where we should be, it's not good enough. Not good enough at all." Hamilton's comments were not just a reflection of his individual performance, but also a warning sign for the Mercedes team as a whole. Amid immense pressure to return to winning ways and prove that their era of dominance is not over, the reality on the ground is that the gap between them and their main rivals Red Bull and Ferrari is widening. And for Hamilton, whose career has always been marked by the highest standards, the pressure is becoming increasingly overwhelming. Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari has raised a number of concerns among analysts and Formula One observers. One of the main issues that has emerged is Hamilton's ability to adapt to a new environment that is very different from his previous teams. Many have pointed out that throughout his career, Hamilton has not been known as a driver who consistently excels at developing cars from scratch. He is better known as someone who excels when his cars are competitive, able to maximize the full potential of a well-designed car. However, Ferrari is currently undergoing a major transition. The SF25, the car that will be used this season, is not an evolution of last year's car, but rather a new concept built from the ground up. In a situation like this, the ability to adapt quickly, provide accurate technical feedback, and maintain close communication with the engineering team is crucial. This is a huge challenge for anyone, including a seven-time world champion like Hamilton. The voices of Hamilton's family also enriched the discussion. His father, Anthony Hamilton, also spoke about his son's situation. He stressed that Lewis did not come to Ferrari empty-handed. "He brings 20 years of experience in Formula One," said Anthony, noting that Hamilton's journey began with a decade at McLaren and then continued with 12 successful years at Mercedes. According to him, Lewis' presence is not only about on-track success, but also about creating a new culture within the team and introducing a fresh vision for the long term. However, Anthony Hamilton did not deny that Lewis' mission at Ferrari has not been an easy one. It's about building a new culture and vision, he said, but admitted that achieving this in a short space of time was a challenge that seemed almost impossible. In addition, Ferrari, as an iconic Italian team, has a very different working culture than the British teams that Hamilton previously drove for. In the midst of a tumultuous season and showing no signs of stability, rumors have begun to circulate that Ferrari may take a bold step, shifting their focus earlier to the 2026 season. Inconsistent performance, often questionable strategies, and difficulties in maintaining a racing rhythm are the main reasons that have fueled this rumor. If true, this move could be a signal that Ferrari is starting to be realistic about their dwindling chances in the 2025 season. However, such a decision is not without consequences. The impact will be felt directly by Lewis Hamilton, who has just started his new adventure with a legendary team from Maranello. The high hopes that surrounded his move, to immediately return to winning ways and win an 8th title, could turn into disappointment if Ferrari really prefers to prioritize the development of the 2026 car instead of fighting all out for the rest of this season. On the other hand, Charles Leclerc has been Ferrari's main savior so far. His consistency on the track, coupled with his ability to maximize every available opportunity, keeps the team's name at least competitive in the Constructors' Championship. Without his contribution, Ferrari's position could be much worse. Nevertheless, the pressure remains high. If Hamilton never finds his best performance, Ferrari could lose its footing in the battle for the top 3 positions, threatened by Red Bull's unflagging dominance, McLaren's rapid progress and Mercedes' revival, which is starting to show its teeth. Now Lewis Hamilton is at one of the most pivotal points in his career. After years of dominating the circuit with Mercedes, the bold move to Ferrari, his childhood dream team, proved to be a path paved with uncertainty. He still believed that hard work, dedication and belief in himself were the keys to turning things around. But the reality was undeniable. Time was ticking, age was growing, and younger competitors were becoming more aggressive. The season rolled on, each race bringing more pressure than the last. One by one, the high expectations set at the beginning of the season began to fade. The dissenting voices that had begun as whispers of skepticism now turned into a bright spotlight. Many began to ask themselves, was the move to Ferrari a stroke of genius, or a fatal mistake that would tarnish the legacy of the 7-time world champion? Amidst the growing storm of doubt, one big question hangs in the air, waiting to be answered. Can Lewis Hamilton still turn the tide of an increasingly unfavorable situation, rekindle the championship spirit that once propelled him to the top, and silence the critics with a spectacular performance that can shake the entire paddock? Or is this just another sad chapter in the story of a legend who, despite still having a big name, is trapped in the romance of the past, hoping to conquer his dream car, but instead plunged into a bitter reality far removed from his hopes and ideals? Will he rise again, or will all his accomplishments feel even more out of reach? Write your opinion below.